Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Hi friends, as I'm recording this last weekend we just had the No Kings protest here in San Diego and all over the United States, and are in just some very challenging times, as we have been for 2 years now. And for me, it really matters that the people in charge of my country are kind, grace-filled, justice-oriented, and like many of you, I'm having a hard time right now. And layered on top of that is this interesting challenge we're having in the economy. And I've been having a lot of my clients and community ask me about this. So I want to do just a more honest podcast about the economy. And I've been in business for almost 10 years now. So I feel like I've been through different phases of online business. And in many ways, it's given me more of a perspective, and it hasn't really shaken me that much how the economy is right now, just because I feel that I've been in lots of ups and downs. And I wanted to give my take on this and hope this is useful. Number one, to normalize that, yes, we are in wild political times. Yes, we are in wild economic times, right? Go and look at the price of eggs in the grocery store and you get it. But I also want to say that for me, I don't think what we do in business needs to change a lot. What I mean by that is when you're in a day job, right, for the most part, you're getting the same paycheck no matter what the economy is doing up and down, right? In your own business, it is influenced often by the economy. Often different businesses are influenced in different economic times, right? Some businesses thrive when the economy is down. Some businesses thrive when the economy is up, right? Just like different industries or different stocks in the stock market. But what I want to say is, just like the stock market, don't go ripping your money out of your 401k just because it's challenging. You need to leave your money in, right? And for me in business, like when I think about my business over the last 10 years, right? What I'm looking at is steady growth year over year. Are some years a little more flat than others? Yes. Are some quarters a little more flat than others? Yes. But I think it's just remembering to stay in the game and not get fazed by it. And for me, even my lower months or my worst years are still better than what I could have done in corporate. And so I think it's sometimes in business, I think we get a little entitled, right? Or we get, not purposefully, but we get a little bit like, oh, like things are a little bit harder or this or that. Yeah, but anytime I think about comparing what I would be making in a day job and the hours I'd have to be working in a day job, this business is far better even in its lows, even if it's in its lowest moments, right? Even when I'm cranky because something isn't going quite right in my business, I compare it to my days in corporate, and 9 times out of 10, my business is better. And so what comes up for me is being able to say to yourself, yes, maybe it's a little harder to sign clients right now, right? Like not gaslighting yourself into saying like, no, the economy is perfect. No, it's not, right? Oh, it's just as easy to sign a client right now as it was in the pandemic. No, it's not, right? But in my view, the worst our business can be is still better than the best day job. Okay. That's a conclusion I've come to personally, because I have had moments of reevaluating. I have no shame around if I needed to, like, I'm a single mama. If I need to like quit my business and go get a day job, whatever, right? If I need to shut down this business and open another business, whatever, I'm not so attached to it. Right. But every time I see that no matter how bad business is, the worst day of working for yourself is better than working for someone else. And I don't know, maybe that's a little bit proud, but the nice thing about, especially like as a woman, like we have so many, for me and so many of my clients, we really value freedom. We value being our own boss. That means number one, having our own value system. It means being able to post reels online that let people know that if you're going to be mean to someone because they are LGBT, you are not welcome in my community. Like I don't tolerate bullying, right? And when I worked my day job, I couldn't say that. I would have been fired for that, right? So I just think it's important to remember that you can't put a price tag on being able to run your business by your values. Sure, you can find a company that's pretty close to your core values, but is it going to match it completely? Probably not. And so number one for me, it's like my business, I get to have my core values, period, end of story. This means I get to choose who I hire. This, as far as my coaches, my providers, as far as my team. Also, it means I get to pick my friends, my coworkers in corporate. I didn't like all my coworkers, right? But you don't get to choose your coworkers. Same thing with your clients. You get to choose your clients. And that freedom, that autonomy to live in complete alignment with your values, I feel like you can't put a price tag on it. Okay, I feel like you can't. I feel like it's such a blessing. I'm not saying some people in different eras of our life have to work a day job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you have access to having a business, I think it's a blessing. I think it's a gift, and I think we need to not take it for granted, right? So that's the number one gift that I feel like people forget to put a price tag on. An existential price tag. Number two, it's remembering your time freedom. A lot of people too, we start businesses because we have something in our life that needs accommodating, and it's not always something great, right? Like for me, I'm having to face personal legal stuff right now, right? Not related to my business, but I'm having to make space for that. Do I like that I have to spend my spare time on that? No. But am I grateful that I have a business where I do? Yes. A lot of my clients have debilitating health challenges, whether it's mental health challenges, whether it is physical health challenges, whether it's themselves, whether it's an aging parent, whether it's a child. Is it kind of fun and nice that our business is flexible so that we can make time for our health challenges? No. We wish we didn't have the health challenges, but would it be infinitely harder to work a day job and do that? Yes. So that's the other rub I see women come into is they resent the reason they need freedom, right? Maybe they're dealing with ADHD that's really debilitating them, right? And so it feels like, yes, but I need the flexibility. I need the freedom, right? And so, but I wish that I didn't have ADHD so I didn't have to deal with this and I could just whatever it is, right? But the truth is, here we are. We have the things we have. We've done the things we've done. It is. And so just because we have to do that thing doesn't mean we can't still be grateful that our business has given us that freedom, right? I run into this all the time, right? I have a very amazing business. It makes me a lot of money in a very few hours, but am I resentful sometimes because I use a lot of that time and energy on single motherhood? Yeah, it kind of stinks. Right? But on the same token, can I imagine being a single mom and working a corporate day job? Absolutely. I can't even imagine being a married, well-supported mom and working a day job. Like motherhood is just so demanding, right? So I just think it's being watchful and mindful and being grateful, putting that price tag on the freedom that we have in business. And some of us, I think, switch a corporate day job for a business and we forget that we do have the freedom. You know, when I really encourage you girls to have a 3-day work week, you're like, oh, I can never do that. Sure you can. It's your business, right? And always remembering you are in charge of, like, we don't want a boss, but then sometimes when we're in business, we wish we had a boss, right? And sometimes I pretend to be your boss as your coach and tell you, stop treating yourself so poorly. Stop being a mean boss to yourself, right? Let yourself rest. Let yourself take a nap. Let yourself have slow mornings. Let yourself work a 3-day work week. Let yourself hire clients that are kind and fire clients that are rude. Have boundaries, have policies, right? It requires you to be a really good boss to yourself. And if you're not enjoying your freedom, tough love is, how can you create that freedom for yourself? How can you update your policies? How can you update your systems? How can you hire a team member? How can you hire a coach that will help you scale your business so that you're enjoying your freedom? Okay, revisiting this topic of money, ideally you're creating a business so that even when times are hard, your baseline level of income is still beating what corporate can do. Okay, for most women, that's 6 figures. Right? Ideally, you're creating a lifestyle, right? I'm a big fan of feeling rich all the time by really living under my means. Okay? What does this mean? Are you budgeting in a way where you are living under the amount of money you're making? And are you making enough money so that your lowest months are still covering all of your expenses? Are you setting yourself up for success so that when the economy is doing great, when you knocks it out of the park, awesome. When it doesn't, That's okay because your needs are still covered, right? And then you're not like, the economy is doing so bad. You're like, okay, the economy's kind of crunchy. So I'm going back to like my baseline, but everything's fine, right? Because I'm still making six figures. I'm still making what I need to cover my basis. So a few things you can think on if this isn't the case for you is my target range of money I'm trying to make, is it a range where the low is covering all my expenses and the high is something that I'm not depending on, but that I'm grateful for? So that when I have extra money, I'm squirreling it away in my freedom fund, right? So when I have extra money, maybe I'm investing in things, but maybe it's not a recurring expense. Really looking at being mindful on your expenses, whether that's personally or in your business. In general, in my life, that's kind of how I've always done it, right? It's why after my divorce, I lived in a studio with my kids, even though I was making a ton of money, because I really wanted to feel abundant, right? I really wanted to be making way more than it cost to live, especially in a city like San Diego. If I can do it in San Diego, you can do it anywhere. You got this, right? But really looking at it. And for me, it's like, okay, again, not gaslighting yourself like, oh, times aren't hard. Times are hard right now, but even the hardest times in business are better than average times in a day job, right? We just feel it more. We need to prepare for it more. Okay, so what does this look like practically? Practically, this looks like, for example, let's say, when the economy was strong, you could have 100 people on a webinar and 10 of them would sign up for your product. I'm just using round numbers, right? Maybe with the economy being a little harder right now, if you get 100 people to sign up for your webinar, only 5 people will buy. So what does this mean? That you need to get 200 people on your on your webinar so that 10 still convert, or it means you need to get better at selling. You need to get better at selling. So we need to start tweaking some metrics, right? So it's being like, okay, in order to make the same amount money and get the same amount of results, I probably just need to do a little more sales and marketing, which this is a good thing, you guys. I think so often when the economy is good, we get lazy and we're not really selling and we're not really getting visible. And it's not bad. We're like accepting the trickle of clients that come to us, right? We're on the sales call. We're just kind of chatting. We're not converting the sales calls right away. We're letting them convert 3 months later. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're wanting money yesterday, it is really good to work on your sales skills. During a hard economy time, money mindset, sales skills, these matter more than ever. And good news is, if you get better at selling in your money mindset, even when the economy gets strong, it's even better for you. It's kind of like when you shrink your work week back during the summer. I always encourage girls in the fall, keep your 3-day work week, right? As you're getting better at selling and converting and increasing your conversion rates and better at growing your audience, when economic times get good again, guess what? Keep those skills and just do even better, right? It's like when the stock market is down and buying stocks when the market is down, right? Double down on those skills. What does that mean? Really working your sales money mindset. In the mastermind, our first 12 modules are all about selling, because I am such a big believer in working on things like figuring out what heart-centered urgency means, right? How to create buzz, how to create excitement, how to create urgency in a way that works for you and feels an integrity to you, how to lead a sales call, how to talk with someone about their objections and how to get someone over their objections in a sales call. All these skills are so important. How to articulate your message, how to make your product sexy, because we know you're going to deliver on the back end for your clients. So how do you compel someone with your messaging? How do you get visible and get over your visibility blocks so you can expose yourself to more people? That's my recommendation for you. When the economy is down, how do I double down on my visibility and sales skills? How do I get better at this? And if you've been online for a while like me, we have to shift and modify how we get visible and sell, right? The principles are the same, but maybe the surface of it is different. Maybe we're doing a short form video instead of long form blogs, blah, 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 right? Whatever, you can learn it. You've got this. But really doubling down on those skills so that you can match the results you had before. Two options. Number one, you can be okay with not having the results you had before and just accepting less sales, less clients. Or you can say, no, I don't care if the economy is down. I still want the same results. So I'm going to work the data and I'm going to double down on the amount of people I'm enrolling on my webinars, right? The amount of people I'm adding to my email list, which honestly, I think is going to be the direction for most of you, because most of my clients need an excuse to get more visible. Right? We're shy. We're heart-centered. We don't want to be on social media, which is fine. But it's that excuse to like get over those visibility blocks. Maybe you were able to hide behind before, but now they're coming front and center. And you're really having to face the facts of like, maybe this is the time for me to really master my marketing and get more visible and figure out the things online that feel good to me. Maybe I don't want to do reels, but maybe I want to do carousels, right? Maybe I want to open a Substack, right? Maybe I want to double down on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter where, but getting clear on what is it. Maybe you're afraid people will judge you, right? See you as salesy. Maybe you're afraid people will get annoyed with you. Maybe you are afraid to be disagreed with. Someone left a really rude comment and told me to STFU on my post this weekend, and I laughed it off. But back in the olden day, if a man told me to shut the F up on one of my posts, I probably would have cried. Right? And so really seeing you in the blocks, it's not easy to be visible. It's not easy to sell, but I think the bad economy is a great excuse for it. And then again, when the economy gets great, you're going to be better at selling, you're going to be better at visible, and then your results are going to double down. Okay, hope this was helpful for you. Hope it was a little pep talk you needed, not making yourself wrong. We're all in it together, right? But really getting clear on, again, those three things, those three gifts that our business gives us: the values, the freedom, that baseline income, and then also really asking yourself, is this the invitation that I needed to get better visibility, to get better at selling? And again, highly encourage you to join the waitlist for Sell with Heart Mastermind, because it really is the program that's going to, over 6 months, help you with heart create that 100K on a 3-day work week and do it through good times and bad times, right? Really doubling down on those skills, those practical skills that you're not going to learn anywhere else online, as far as like your craft. You're good at your craft, but then you also have to get good at selling and visibility. And I want to help you with that. Okay, sending you the biggest hug. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.